Rising break-ins. Orem police make 4 arrests, but they say your car could still be a target.
Temple turmoil. 2 Buddhist groups, 1 temple. Why the courts are now stepping into the negotiation.
And West Nile returns. Fall has arrived, and so has the West Nile virus. Find out which summer routine health officials say you shouldn't get. Janae Anderson.
And I'm Lydia DeFranchi. It's Tuesday, October 11th, and in Utah, it's 12 o'clock.
From KBYU and the BYU Department of Communications. This is the award-winning 11 News at noon.
The Orem Police Department says that car break-ins are on the rise. But that trend may change now that police have 4 people in custody. 11 News reporter Alexis Flake went out to where the break-ins occurred. Alexis, how big is this problem?
Well, police tell me that some recent nights there have been as many as several dozen car break-ins. And now, after arresting 4 people, cars in Orem may be a little safer. UVU student Heidi Benson got an unexpected call from police at 4:30 in the morning. Officers asked her to take a look inside her car and make sure that nothing was missing. Police told her that someone had just been inside it looking for valuables.
I was scared before, just like late at night alone, like just being a girl, it's kind of scary, but now it definitely creeps me out a little bit more.
Police reports say that 4 young adults broke into cars in an underground lot near UVU early Friday morning. A patrol officer saw 2 people hiding between cars, and when they tried to run, police arrested Lacey Losey and Travis Potter, which also led to the arrests of Erica Yeager and Christian Taylor on auto break-in charges.
So initially we were only looking for 2 people, but we ended up finding 4. And they were all friends, they knew each other, and that's what they were out to do that night, was to burglarize cars.
Because underground parking lots are usually secluded and well lit, they are common targets for thieves. Police say that the best way to keep your car safe is to hide valuables from plain view.
Just because they're arrested doesn't mean it's going to stop, but it at least slowed it down and got some property back to the owners that night.
Orem police say that the 4 people they arrested may have a connection to some burglaries in Provo. They're hoping to continue the investigation and arrest even more people. Live in the newsroom, Alexis Flake, 11 News.
And we'll be sure to keep you updated if that does happen. Thanks, Alexis.
A man is in the Utah County Jail on theft charges, and the arrest may have saved his life. Duck hunters discovered Rio Guy Watts suffering from hypothermia in the Marshy Mud Lake area. They heard his cry for help and called police, who pulled him to safety, only to realize Watts was a suspect in railroad copper wire theft, who had escaped from police earlier that day. Watts is now safely in jail for possession of stolen property and obstruction of justice. Utahns may see a freeway connecting I-15 to the Provo airport sooner than the state expected. The Provo Freeway is one of 14 national projects the government chose to give expedited review. White House administrators say they hope to create more jobs by speeding up approval for projects like this one. The state will still pay for the $28 million freeway.
The Salt Lake Health Department identified a case of West Nile virus and feared the victim got the disease while in Utah County. The virus passes through bites from infected mosquitoes. Utah County health officials issued a county warning once they found out about the case, telling people to wear mosquito repellent while outside between dusk and dawn, especially near bodies of water. The warning also says that people should pay attention to bug bites and take symptoms seriously.
It can affect a person many years into the future, and it's so easy to prevent that's the message we're trying to get out to people.
Although mosquito season is ending, Utah County health officials say they will continue to monitor the insects. The Salt Lake County Council is debating on which of 3 proposals they will choose as they redistrict the county. Council members say they want to reorganize the 6 districts without dividing any cities and keeping an evenly distributed population. The council will hold a meeting at 4 today in their chambers to hear public comments on the 3 proposals.
The Pho Quang Temple in Salt Lake is facing a divide between 2 Buddhist religious groups. 11 News reporter Ashley Moser investigates what is causing this conflict and what both congregations are doing to resolve it.
Members of the Vietnamese Buddhist Association of Utah were shipped outside in the cold this past weekend. They say they were evicted from their temple, but a monk from an opposing religious group says otherwise.
Members of the Vietnamese Buddhist group of Utah say they've been worshiping in the Pho Quang Temple for 10 years, but because of a recent transfer of the deed for the land, they claim a Buddhist monk from the American Buddhist Congress is evicting them. The issue boils down to a title dispute over who owns the land that the temple stands on. The Utah Buddhist group wouldn't speak on camera but released a written statement that says Monk Thich Nhat Hanh of the American Buddhist Congress evicted the Vietnamese congregation as they tried to worship last weekend. But she says that wasn't the case.
And they volunteer came out there, our call. We don't kick them out. We don't refuse them. We try to accommodate them.
Up until March, the title of the land belonged to the Vietnamese Unified Buddhist Group, but they transferred the title to a member of the American Buddhist Congress, who now claims they own the land. What remains unclear is what that member intended when the transfer happened. Real estate attorney Tom Scribner is not assigned to this case, but reviews titles like these and says the problem arises when titles don't detail their intentions clearly.
And in America, you're entitled to make good deals and bad deals. And this may end up just being a really bad deal.
The congregations haven't gone to court with this dispute yet, but both religious groups say they'd prefer working towards a schedule that allows both parties to worship in the temple. Lydia?
Still to come on 11 News at noon, school smarts, why one charter school wants their students to have the latest gadgets in class.
And basketball bummer. The NBA lockout is keeping the season from starting on time. How long will fans have to wait? Stay with us. This just into our newsroom. New Jersey Governor Chris Christie will hold a press conference at 1 p.m. Mountain Time today where he plans to endorse Mitt Romney for president. After Christie declined to run for president, we'll have details on our website and more tomorrow at noon. GOP candidate John Huntsman is joining the name-calling debate that a Dallas pastor began when he called Mormons cult members. Huntsman denounced Robert Jeffress, calling him a moron, and says the debate over religion is detracting from policy discussions. Jeffress is standing by his comments about the LDS Church and candidates Romney and Huntsman.
The NBA cuts the season's first 2 weeks, the Occupy Wall Street protest spreads to California, and people snatch the new iPhone before it even hits the shelves. Here's your look at news from across the nation. NBA fans better find a new hobby as the upcoming season is in jeopardy. Players and owners met for hours in New York City yesterday, only to end in a deadlock and a decision to cancel the first 2 weeks of the season. The lockout began in July, and each day only brings plans to cancel more games unless owners and players can reach an agreement on a new labor deal. The Occupy Wall Street movement continues to grow and is now hitting Oakland, California. Hundreds of people set up tents at a plaza and say they are determined to stay. Protesters say they hope to get their message out about corporate greed, but some Republican senators say the protesters are a mob who are just jealous of bankers' success. And Apple says first-day pre-orders of the iPhone 4S topped a record-breaking 1 million. Original iPhone carrier AT&T contributed to that number, taking more than 200,000 pre-orders in the first 12 hours. Marketing experts say the death of Apple founder Steve Jobs could be a reason for the upsurge in sales. Apple's stock rose more than 5% that day. And that's your look at news from across the nation. Janae?
A charter school in Pleasant Grove has a new policy, BYOD, bring your own device. They're putting iPads in the hands of 7th graders. 11 News reporter Lizzie Early shows us how important technology has become in these classrooms.
Is that boring? At Lincoln Academy, you won't find only sack lunches in these lockers. The school expects 7th through 9th graders to bring a computerized device to class this fall. Most students arrived with iPads, but some came with iPods, laptops, and even smartphones.
Well, it's always kind of nice. It's a little frightening. It's a little risky to be at the forefront of any type of movement like this.
The devices take the place of calculators, notepads, and even some textbooks. Lincoln teachers say most parents are on board with the policy, but others have doubts about the distraction of games. Durant says that can be a concern, but assures worried parents that because of these devices, learning is more interactive than ever.
Lincoln Academy is saying goodbye to paper and pencils, but they're confident that they're not the only ones to make this transition.
It's just a mere matter of time before every school is all plugged into this bring your own device. So this is a great place for them to start.
The Lincoln Academy administration says it has always tried to stay updated with new computers and projectors. This is simply the next step for the students.
these devices, this technology, this is a part of their world. And really what we're doing as a school is bringing their world into the classroom and sharing it, you know, with them.
In Pleasant Grove, Lizzie Early, 11 News.
Some of the students say they are quicker than their parents on the iPad. The Academy plans to extend the program to the elementary school. When 11 News at noon returns. Hole in one. The BYU golf team hits the green and scores tips from some world-class visitors. We'll tell you who was there.
Plump pumpkins. These fall fruits are putting on the pounds just in time for competition season.
Last week I was really complaining about the cold temperatures, but it feels like it's starting to warm up and turn into the fall that I was hoping for.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. It's been nice. Do we get to keep this?
Well, you can expect like warmer temperatures. Like by tomorrow we could be headed into the 70s, so if you didn't take a chance to go outside and maybe experience some of the fall colors, you're going to get a second chance as the snow's going to melt in the lower elevations. Also outside right now it is still a little gloomy, and you can expect that throughout the day as clouds roll in and out, but it's going to be sunny as well. Currently outside it's 63 degrees. It's a calm wind speed, so things are going to be back to the way they were a little bit before this taste of winter that we had, so you can look forward to that. Your commute home will be the same as well, as partly cloudy in the mid 60s, but it's going to climb up as we go on throughout the day. And then tonight you can expect clear off a little bit more. It's partly cloudy right now, but as the clear skies come, the sunset is going to be about 6:53 and a full moon at 8:05, and it's actually the hunter's moon. It comes right after the harvest moon, so if it's clear skies, take a little time outside because the weather isn't going to be too cold and you can enjoy that nice full moon. And the weather is going to continue to clear off as we go throughout the day. As we look forward, the weather is clearing off and will move to Colorado, that precipitation, and there will be storms that go over the north, but they're going to miss us because there is an area of high pressure that is moving in to Utah, and that's where the temperatures are going to start to climb throughout the week. So you can expect higher temperatures, and they're starting today. As we look across the state, they are in the mid 60s. We have Logan at 62, Salt Lake around 68, same with Provo 67, and then Logan, or excuse me, St. George at 80. So they're going to continue to climb. Southern Utah will get back close to the 90s as we take a look at their 5-day forecast. They are continuing to go up. Today, 80, as we said. Friday, 88, and as we go into the weekend, it is going to get a little bit breezy, so enjoy the warm weather while it lasts. The northern Utah, we can expect a bit of the same as we continue to climb throughout the week. Friday back to 77, so beautiful temperatures that you're going to want to enjoy as you go throughout the week, because we're not quite sure when the cold weather is going to hit us again.
Exactly.
Good news.
Exactly. The perfect news we were all looking for, so thanks, Jake. So homecoming was last week.
That's right, and some former Cougars came to campus and decided to make it a long weekend. Kelsey, who was here?
Well, Lydia, one of the fan favorites was Lavelle Edwards, but there were many more. Next on sports, putt-putt. Some of the greatest golf pros came together with the BYU golf team. We'll show you what brought them here. In boomstick, the Texas Rangers and Detroit Tigers battled out Game 2 in extra innings, but one man led his team to a record-breaking victory. Sports is next. Stay tuned. Some of the greatest golfers of all time hit the greens of Provo, and all of them are former Cougars. 11 Sports reporter Rebecca Wone headed to the fairway to meet some of the greats.
Riverside Country Club took extra care with their fairways, making sure they were up to par for some of golfing's greatest. And they all once wore the white and blue. Mike Weir, Johnny Miller, and many others headed to the greens for Cougar Day.
It's a great day for BYU golf. Great to have all these past players here and the current players and a lot of the other athletes like Chad Lewis and Lavelle Edwards and just everybody in the community backing the golf team. Golf's a great game and everybody loves it.
Current golf team members took advantage of this opportunity to get tips from the pros who once were in their cleats.
It's an honor to have, some, highly recognized people, say, you have good fundamentals or good techniques.
But the tips weren't just for the Cougs. Golfers from all walks of life came to take advantage of this opportunity, all for a good cause.
Because the golf team doesn't charge entrance fees for their tournaments, they hold fundraisers like these to keep them on the green.
Someone was still missing from the links. Cougar Day founder and former coach Carl Tucker passed away last year.
Hard for me to be here at Riverside and Cougar Day without Carl Tucker. I could sort of feel him here, and his family was here, so Carl, up there, good luck to you.
They may not all be hitting a hole-in-one, but golfers at Cougar Day have one thing in common. They love the Cougars. In Provo, Rebecca Wowen, 11 News.
The golf team will head to the McKinsey Invitational in Fairfax, California this week to use their recently acquired golf tips. NBA Commissioner David Stern did not deviate from his deadline, wiping out the first 2 weeks of the NBA season. Exactly 100 games are gone and more are in jeopardy, leaving us to ask, what's next? Many NBA stars say they are taking their talents overseas. Jazz player Mehmet Okur and Kirill Fasinko are part of the overseas movement, and Jazz forward Andrei Kirilenko has signed a 3-year deal with the CSKA Moscow. His contract allows him to return to the NBA upon completion of the lockout. After rain and weather delayed and then postponed the Texas Rangers-Detroit Tigers matchup, Game 2 of the American League Championship Series resumed Monday at the ballpark in Arlington. Derek Holland on the mound, top 3. Rangers have a 2-0 lead until Ryan Rayburn gets a piece of this one. 3-run homer and sends the Tigers up 3-2. The 7th, Max Scherzer and Nelson Cruz. He connects in seconds and cruises this missile down the line with a solo home run to tie the game. Top 9, bases loaded, 2 outs. Victor Martinez has a chance to send the Tigers up with a pop-out out past second base, but Elvis Andrus with the out to end the inning. The game still tied at 3. Bottom 9 with a similar situation, bases loaded, 1 out. Mitch Moreland breaks his bat, and Cabrera with a double play to send the game into extra innings. Bottom of the 11th, tie game, bases loaded, no outs. Rangers are in cruise control. With Cruz hanging on, he sends the ball high and gone with the first ever walk-off grand slam in the history of Major League Baseball's postseason. Rangers win Game 2, 7-3, and lead the AL Series 2-0.
So my question is, right now baseball's in full swing, but what happens after the World Series if the NBA doesn't stop the lockdown? Like if they just don't play?
Yeah, it's a good question. Hopefully hopefully you're not just an NBA fan, because there's lots going on in sports right now. Football is heating up, baseball's almost finished with the championship coming close, but there's a lot of BYU sports too. So
well, hopefully less sports in my house, but not if my husband has anything to say about that. Thanks, Kelsey. Still to come on 11 News at noon, massive gourds. How many pounds does your pumpkin have to be to break a state record? Here's a hint, more than 8 grown men. We'll be right back. Hope.
California pumpkin growers will have to forget about carving jack-o'-lanterns this Halloween. That is, unless they have chainsaws. The Safeway World Championship Pumpkin Weigh-Off showed off some of the biggest gourds the world has ever seen. The winning pumpkin weighed in at a whopping 1,704 pounds. But even at that, it's only the second largest pumpkin in the world this year. That's a lot of potential pumpkin pie.
I know personally when I carve a pumpkin, I always get tired halfway through and I give up. So I can't even imagine how long it would take me to go through one of those.
But it probably goes a lot faster with a chainsaw.
I know, seriously.
I don't know if I'd trust myself with a chainsaw, though.
I know, I wouldn't at all.
You can use that for your pumpkin carving competition, one of those big pumpkins.
That's true.
You need a bucket to empty it out.
Seriously. That's 11 News at noon for Tuesday, October 11th.
Join us anytime on our website at 11news.byu.edu.
Thanks for watching. Have a great afternoon.